Morning, members, and to the viewing public who are watching our budget hearing today in our social media platform. The chair will now call this budget hearing with the Department of Fire and Emergency Medical Services to order. And with 8 members present here, we have duly established a quorum. So at this time, we move to item 2, adoption of agenda. And do I hear a motion to adopt today's agenda? There's a motion to adopt today's agenda, and it has been seconded. Discussion on the motion. Ready? All those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed, say nay. Motion is adopted. Moving along in our order of business, we are now on item 3, public comments. Are there any members of the public who are here that wishes to make comments? Seeing that there is no comments from any members of the public, we continue on to our order of business, and we are on item 4, introduction and statement from the chair. So at this time, the chair would like to thank you, Commissioner Pua, and your team for coming before this august body to discuss the department's requests and also the proposal that was submitted by the administration. Let me recognize and introduce the members of this standing committee, starting by myself. I am the chair, Representative J.P. Sablon. We have also member Representative Ralph Yumo, who is here. To his left, we have Representative Vincent Odon. And to his left, we have Representative Julie Ogo. And to the other side of the aisle, we have Representative Joe Flores. To his left, we have Representative Malcolm Omar. And to his left, we have Representative Denita Yangtimay. And as we move along, there are more members that will be joining us shortly. We are also assisted by our bureau staff. We have our legal counsel, Joe Tyron, our budget analysis, T.G. Rabago. We have our senior legislative assistant, Ms. Claire Sablon, our IT, Jonathan Diaz. We have our Sergeant at Arms, Mr. Pete Towai, who is assisting the committee as well. Also assisting the committee from the administration, we have Mrs. Vicky Villagomez from OMB and her staff, Ms. Angelina Phillips and Ms. Samantha Pua, who is joining us to assist us on today's order of business. So with that said, we move to item 5. And at this time, Mr. Commissioner, I give you the floor for your opening remarks and your presentation. Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and honorable members of the House of Representatives. My name is Juan Pua, Commissioner for Defense. Thank you for giving us the opportunity for the budget hearing for the Department of Fire and EMS. As we navigate the challenges of our growing community, we must provide our public safety departments with the necessary resources to ensure the safety and well-being of our residents. Defense plays a critical role in emergency response and preparedness, and its funding directly affects our ability to respond effectively to emergencies, train our personnel, and maintain our equipment. Investing in the defense not only equips our first responders with the necessary tools, but also foster community resilience. I ask you all to consider the following long-term benefits of adequately funding our emergency services. Together, we can ensure that our firefighters and EMTs are best prepared to serve and protect our community. Thank you for your attention and support. And please, if you can look at the monitor. So that's our budget narrative. So that's our mission statement. The Department of Fire and EMS is a line agency of executive branch of the Commonwealth of the Northern Marianas Island. It is headed by the Commissioner, who is the executive officer, and 3 deputy commissioners. The department is comprised of 5 divisions: emergency services, Division of Fire Prevention and Arson Investigation, Division of Emergency Medical Services, Division of Logistics and Support, and Division of Administration. Each division is headed by Assistant Chief, who oversees all activities related to functions established or assigned under their respective command and control. The Department of Fire and EMS was created by Public Law 18-73 on January 25th to do the following. Just let me know if I'm moving the mouse too fast or no. Go back. Thank you. So these are the department structures and services. And these are our strategic goals. We have 3 of them. To enhance emergency response capabilities, to increase community awareness and education, strengthen our workforce development. The fire stations and location. The challenges, funding and resources, manpower. And these are the strategies for the challenges. Can we change the slide? Thank you. Attached is the spending plan for fiscal year 2026 for the following revolving account. Oops. This is the 1953 ambulance revolving account. And this is the Fire Safety Code 3563 account. Oops. Mr. Chairman, the Department of Fire and EMS, thank you with your committee for providing us some funding from the SINAIOT. So we have purchased some training tools and equipment, and the order for the fire station blueprint. We would like to request if to meet with the committees if we can do an amendment on the language for the blueprint. Because right now, instead of building the fire station in Morpeth ground up, we have located a land and an existing building, and it's going to be renovated. So we're asking if we can amend the language to use the 30,000 to purchase the EMS equipment and supplies.
So meaning to say divert from the blueprint and dedicate those funds for supplies.
Yes, sir, for EMS supplies and equipment.
So clarified, and we can have that meeting separately on a different setting.
Thank you. Can we go now to the PowerPoint? Do you guys have any question before we proceed on with the PowerPoint?
Just so before you proceed, just from your recent presentation, Commissioner, so there's 3 revolving fund. That's ambulance, fire safety code, and fire lane code. Is that correct?
That's correct, sir.
Okay, thank you. You can proceed.
Again, this is our mission statement. Our vision statement. We were created by Public Law 18-73 in 2015, I'm sorry. We have a total of 150 personnel across CNMI. This is the department organizational chart. We are NIMS compliance, and we are Pro Board certified, and we are gearing towards the National Registry certification. This is our fire suppression response from 2024 to 2025, and these are the type of incidents and total numbers. So there's total of 995 fire suppression response. For emergency medical services response, these are the nature of calls and total numbers. We have a total of 6,901 calls for EMS. We are averaging about 10 calls a day. For enforcement, these are the occupational group and number of inspection. We have a total of 821. And these are the inspections disposition and the fire permit data. We have a total of 179 new fire permit and 642 renewal. This is our fire investigation data. Search and rescue response, we have a total of 7. Hazmat response, we have a total of 15. And these are our community outreach program. And this is defense training. And some of the training are provided by other agencies. And this is the federal grant that we receive. And this is annually. And this is our priority for 2026. Our pending projects. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner, for your presentation. And I know maybe some of the members might request that we go back to some of those PowerPoint clips so that we can perhaps have more clarity on that. But so to begin with, I can see that through your budget worksheet, there are vacancies that are actually funded at $1, but there are also vacancies that are fully funded that still reflects that they're still vacant. And I understand that this budget submission, perhaps you have submitted it prior to April 1st. So my question will be from April 1st to today. Are these vacancies filled? And if they are not filled, what are the efforts of your department in trying to fill these vacancies as we speak that are reflective on your worksheet?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For those unfunded FTEs, yes, we do need them because our plan is to recruit more personnel.
Right, that one we understand, but the ones that are fully funded, that are perhaps maybe somewhere in the tune of maybe 8 or 9.
So if you see there's 2 fire crew supervisors that is vacant.
Right.
So what we did is that we reprogrammed the funding to hire 5 additional EMDs.
Okay, so you kind of use 2 of the supervisors' position to kind of convert it to get 5 EMTs?
EMD, emergency
EMDs.
medical dispatchers.
Dispatchers,
Oh.
okay.
And,
And some of those medical dispatchers are actually reflective at $1, right? On your worksheet.
Mr. Chair, if I may probably just to inject also.
Sure.
Currently we are occupying some of those positions already. Some are being hired on all those positions. What the commissioner is trying to reflect back is some vacancies are already being filled.
Okay.
And some vacancies that he was reflecting at the same time is positions that are higher converted to reclassified to get more personnel on the dispatch side. So we just currently hired firefighter 1, 2, 3, and 5 dispatch among all those vacancies that you're seeing right now. So in reflection to that April 1st to current, yes, we do infill some other positions in there.
So with the dispatchers, did you fill the one that is dollar funded too?
No, that's for the vacant.
Okay.
The current vacant that is being funded.
Okay.
So the dollar that's unfunded, we still need that position. However, we will want to request the legislature to, if we find funding to augment that for the cadets. We are still planning in the planning stage to have a recruitment again and opening additional fire academy.
And those are for the dollar funded.
Dollar
vacancy.
funded, yes.
Ms. V, do you want to kind of shed light on the reclassification of those 2 supervisor positions? You have knowledge on that, right, on your office?
Good morning, everyone. So how the budget is structured right now, it's a lump sum budgeting. They give certain number of FTEs and certain number of dollars to be able to carry those FTEs. So what the department has decided to do is to remove those 2 supervisor positions and utilize them on the hiring of whatever to fill those vacancies that they have. So that means that there are 2 less fire crew supervisor.
And and converted to 5 MDs, right?
Yes. So
Okay.
they're just repurposing funding.
Repurposing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you for that clarification. Commissioner, with regards to your revolving funds, so currently, with the 3 revolving funds, what are the main operational programs that are you using all these revolving funds? Because my next question would be, I see that your division on logistics support was the only division that requested for utilities. The rest of your divisions have no requests for utilities. So my question would be, on top of the revolving fund, is what source of funding are you using to pay your utilities at this moment and this current budget fiscal year?
So we're using both the revolving account, the ambulance and the fire safety code.
To pay for all your
For-
utilities?
For utilities, communication, and the repairs and maintenance.
if I may also
please
just to pass also with commissioners' information, Mr. Chair and the members, just to clarify, the revolving account is actually this. When they passed the Budgeting Act, this was a very flexibility to augment the entire operation for defense because of
Right.
the nature of the needs that they don't really what is that budgeted us on the others from the legislature, so they rely too much that they're going to have to use the revolving account. So in general, the revolving account is in lieu of everything what the department is using for anything.
Right.
For medical supply, for the matter, utility, repair and maintenance, fuel, and so forth.
Yeah, and you're right. And as I recall, and many of our members have been members of the Ways and Means, and we intentionally include those provisions so that there's flexibility.
Right, right.
Perhaps for you guys to utilize these revolving funds. But I guess what struck the question was, out of all the divisions, only logistic support requested for utilities. So I'm wondering, since currently you're taking care of all your divisions on utilities with revolving funds. So my question is, perhaps why is the logistics support is the only division that's requesting for utilities? Are you guys helping them pay the utilities as we speak on this current budget with the revolving funds? Because they're the only ones, according to our spreadsheet, that requested, and that's in a tune of $215,000.
I guess, Mr. Mr. Chair, probably that reflects for the entire divisions. Probably that will be a mistake, but that I'm not sure why it transpired to only the logistic division, but it comprised for the whole entire department.
Okay, so we can fairly
probably reflect to make that changes and reflect for the entire department.
Okay, so we can fairly say that the whole entire department accumulates
Yes.
215 annually
Yes.
in
yes,
utilities
Yes.
for whole.
Yes. Not the division only itself.
the-
So
okay,
probably
so-
it's an error or some sort of an error for that, but
Okay.
it comprised for the entire department.
Thank you for that response, so clarified. And then, of course, you spoke about, Commissioner, on your presentation with regards to training. So I see that I don't see any funding request for training in your request. So my question is, what source of funding are you using to train your staff? I know you mentioned that some other government agencies are assisting also your department in training. So can you expound more on that? This is with regards to training. I know that your presentation also mentions or presents that you guys are up to par with NIMS and all those federally required standard, right? That we get up to par because apparently maybe perhaps every 5 years the standards are perhaps have changed or are being modified. So to get your people up to par with the federal standards, the question is, what are the source of funding that are you using to get your people up to par with this training to get federally intact with the standards?
For one, Mr. Chairman, Homeland Security is really supporting us for those training. So we work with them closely. So whenever there's a training that they offered, we make sure that we covered the CNMI fire to be available for those training. So we, at times, if there's shortfall in funding, then unfortunately we also tap to our revolving account.
Okay. How about the awards that the department gets from the federal? What are the uses with these awards? I think one of your presentation clips there mentioned that you guys got some federal awards. TG, can we move back to that clip?
Yeah,
There,
Mr.
there,
Chair,
there.
if
Go
I
to the federal. You passed it. Okay.
Yeah,
So-
if I may inject also,
Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. Chair, yeah, those federal funds is strictly there's a specific project is on an annual basis. So those specific project is in line with the capability of supporting from the federal side in capturing more training itself for our medical services and availing also programs that can sustain our resources and also equipment that augment some of our needs for the department itself.
Okay, so this source can also assist with training.
Yes, yes, specifically for training and some of equipment, supplies and equipment.
And then you mentioned that these federal awards and grants are on an annual basis.
On an annual basis. But however, just for you guys' information, that figure that you're seeing that there will be an impact of a certain percent will be reduced when the new administration came in. Trump administration came in. There's a reduction, but however, there is a notation that we're going to be seeing a reduction on these figures. So we might have an impact on this on the coming months from now.
Okay, so with the awards for this fiscal year, right? So you have for the U.S. Department of Health and Human Resources, HHS, right? And HRSA, you have 132,000, right?
Yes.
Awarded. For this fiscal year, where are these funding dedicated to?
Well, this funding actually that 132 you're not going to be seeing. This is the year funding that is now that we're going to be We're going to be seeing the other what is this funding availability will be giving us. Then that might have an impact on this. So it will not be the same as the 132,000 that you're seeing.
So when is the cycle of?
Well, any time. We were just waiting for the our grantors to give us that new award.
That award.
Yes.
So as of now, as we speak, you are awaiting.
We are on the waiting
to receive.
Yes,
those.
yes.
Does that also apply to the U.S. Department of Agriculture for Forest Services awards too?
I think the whole award.
The whole award.
The whole award.
Okay. Thank you for that clarification. That's it for
Yeah.
the chair for now, and I open now the floor to any members who have questions for the commissioner and his team. Let me recognize. Oh, by the way, joining us also before we continue is our Vice Chair, Representative BJ Atto, and we also have member Representative Roman Benavente, who's also joining us on today's budget hearing. So at this time, I recognize the Vice Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Commissioner, and to your team. Thank you for joining us this morning. My apologies for walking in late, and I'm not sure if the questions have been asked already by a chairman, but just the revolving accounts. How many total revolving accounts, and how much are in each account?
We have 3 revolving accounts, sir.
What are the 3?
It's the 1953 ambulance revolving account, the fire safety code revolving account, and the fire lane.
How much in each?
Update. Okay, Vice, if I may, and we don't have the update figure right now,
Okay.
but they gave us it's inconsistent, and this is what I just wanna emphasize to the whole body here about our revolving account. The revolving account is really actually reflecting us a lot of in lure to the operation. I understand the last fiscal year that you guys gave us the flexibility. However, it giving us also a punch in the eye during that time because of the reimbursement from Medicaid, Medicare, that really impact our ability to sustain our operation. And just to be mind in this body, that if we have a revolving account, we have a revolving funds that are waiting, but it prolonging a lot of impacting from the reimbursement. So if you've seen the inconsistent, we might have seen a number today, and then tomorrow be a different number when we get from possible OMB or finance itself. So that's why we can't really rely on the actual figure of the revolving account updates fund status.
You guys don't have direct access to the account?
Yes, yes, Mr. Chair. As for FY '25, and that's from October 2024 to present, we have a total of, and this is from the different healthcare, insurance, from Aetna, Medicare, Medicaid, and private insurance. So from October 2024 to June, we have a total of 525,
That's for ambulance?
and that's for the 9053.
525,000?
But then again, Vice Chair, with the funding, our vehicle, you always go back and forth in the shop. So I may say that the grand total may be lower than this because we've been using the funding for repairs and maintenance.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Okay. And how
Okay.
many, I guess, ambulance do you guys have? Vehicles?
We got a total of 6.
6?
And we have operational 4
4 operational on Saipan.
on Saipan.
How about on Rhoda and Tinian? Just one each?
One each.
One each? I know that NMHC, through the HUD program, got you guys a fire truck, correct? And an ambulance? Is that something that fire had applied for through NMHC? I know that they're gonna have some extra money very soon with the reprogramming.
Yes, we did, Vice Chair, but unfortunately, yeah. Oh,
Good morning, Chairman and Vice and members. My name is Manny Cabrera. Yes, we did apply for the one ambulance at the NMC, but we have to come up with a matching fund in order for us to get that award. So we've been sitting down with the commissioners and the rest of the team to try and get how we can get that fund to meet the NMHC.
What's the matching? What's the percentage?
Right now, if you get, as of 2025, ambulance type 1, costs about 200-some thousand. So the
Matching.
NMHC, if I'm not mistaken, they can share like 147.
Okay,
I'm not really sure that, but I believe it's 147 they can provide, but we have to come up with another 100 grand.
100 grand.
Yes, sir.
And I know that if you guys have more of these vehicles, right, you guys can actually, pending, obviously, the reimbursements with Medicaid and the insurance companies, fire would be able to increase its revolving account, right? Or provide more services, right? So if you have an emergency, you take care of the emergency, but it also gives you an opportunity to still provide the transport services at whatever, I don't know what you charge now, 500 a day transport, or is it 1,000? That would help you guys make more money. I'm not trying to cut money. I'm trying to make sure that we're trying to figure out how to make you guys more money by this. And if it's only gonna cost whether it's the central government or through your revolving account or through the respective delegations to make a match to make sure that you have additional emergency vehicles, it'll actually help fire make more money for fire in its revolving account. And I'm not trying to say this so that you guys can use your revolving account more often, but in these times that we're challenged financially in the central government just to give out money, I think we should figure out a way to help you guys make more money. And if it's going to cost us $100,000 for 2 additional emergency vehicles for fire, I think that within the first 3 months, just on transportation, you would make that money back for you guys to use. I mean, maybe that's something we can consider. I know you guys, fire is like the special child of the HUD program. You guys qualify for anything and just about everything through HUD. So I think we should take advantage of that right now, most especially that they're coming in towards the end of their fiscal year and they can reprogram funds to assist fire, because fire is going to be the quickest entity to spend their money I think we should put that on the table. Not saying that we're not gonna we're not gonna assist you guys, but we want to help you guys make more money so that it'll in turn help the department, no? And fire trucks. How many fire trucks do you guys have?
For present, we have two 700-gallon fire engine, and we have two 300-gallon forestry truck.
Okay. And this is only for Saipan.
Yes, sir.
How's the relationship between fire and ARF? Is there a good relationship?
Yes, we have an
In assisting
we have an
each other?
MOA with them
Okay.
to assist.
Okay. And these vacancies, Commissioner, some of them are funded. Are they in the process of being filled right now? And if not, would fire be okay if we move these funds elsewhere, maybe within fire itself?
If I may, Vice, and actually those vacancies are some are being filled already at this point in time, as we speak,
Okay.
are being on process of filling.
Can you get that? Can you get that?
And we can probably
information?
give you the detail on updates of those field position.
Please.
You know, yeah, and we'll send it over to you guys
Yeah.
for more clarification on what the standing of these positions are at this point in time.
Yeah, thank you for that. That's very important because we're seeing what we're
Yeah,
seeing right
but
now. no?
I ask for your consideration if we can just leave it like that because it's been on the process right now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time just collecting to finalize all the the gearing up of the position to be filled. But it's on the process right now. Some are being filled, and then some are been on the process right now.
Okay, can you please provide the committee with that so that we make sure that we're not looking at it as a vacant position,
yes,
but
okay.
rather as a
Yes,
position being
yes,
filled?
please. The other one that's vacant for the $1 position, we still need those positions. However, in the future, if you guys find funding, that we still request additional position to fill and be funded for the upcoming planning of the fire academy.
Fire Academy.
Yes.
When's the anticipated
Well,
date for that?
we got the plan already in place, but the only bringing us back is the funding. It's all about funding. So once we figure out where we can get funding, then what strategically we're gonna push the academy.
And how many personnel are you looking at through the academy?
Well, we'll probably the forecast here we're looking at probably 24 Saipan and maybe 2 from Athenian and Road itself.
Two from-
Additional,
You
yeah.
guys been working with WIA on this so that
We
they can
do
pay
we
for
do
the funds?
figure out to do working with WIA. However, WIA got its own policy also that working with them and giving you an opportunity to fill some position. However, you have to guarantee within a month or also within a year or a year and a half to make sure that you pick up that individual and that's the burden line for us because we don't have the funding and we don't wanna go that route and get some person in there when it comes to the time that we're gonna pick them. We can't fill the position for them because we don't have the funds.
Sure, but WIA is part of the
If the
program,
WIA
right?
can give us all the way to 5 years, then we can apply tomorrow.
I'm sure it's not gonna be 5 years, but if we're looking at the cycle to begin
Yeah.
and there's an anticipated date, let's take advantage of WIA's 1 year so that we can figure out how to get the
Yeah,
monies. to
we,
you
we
guys.
can we can work that out and request for the next fiscal year. We can probably request funds to fill that position. We are supporting us in that way.
Okay.
No.
Well, thank you for that.
Yeah, and going back to NMHC, Vice, we really appreciate NMHC. NMHC is really the backbone of supporting us. Don't make us mistake, but they're the one that's really in big support for the DFEMS, and we avail to them on a regular basis. Anything on a regular basis, we communicate with them and asking them in support. So they gave us that opportunity that submit whatever projects that we want. We do submit projects, even there is no funding available, but we submit the project, and when this available comes, they're right there to support us.
Yes, and thank you for that. And I'm
Yes.
hopeful that after this budget hearing, that we submit to them at least 2 ambulance so that we can figure out what we're looking at the matching side. If we're gonna have to match, but they're in a position right now because of the fiscal year ending and the calendar year on their end that they can reprogram funds or use unobligated funds to help fire purchase that. That in turn is going to make you guys so much more money on just transportation let's not even consider the emergency side of stuff, because you take the hospital, just the dialysis itself. How many patients go to the hospital for dialysis?
Yes,
If
yeah.
rather than using, say, Jude's transportation, use Fire's transportation so that Fire can collect the funds rather than going to somewhere else.
Yes. Yeah, appreciate that new advice, and we're duly noted. We're on top of that thing. And surely we're going to be asking your support, and we'll be sending a request of letters for matching fund if in case the time comes that we need assistance from you guys. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Thank you, Chairman, and good morning again.
Thank you, Vice. Let me recognize Representative Julie Ogo.
Thank you, Chairman, and welcome, Commissioner, to your guys' hearing today, and to your staff and directors. In line with Rep. Ato's questions regarding the NMHC, grant for the ambulance, are you guys including RODA in that, request?
Definitely, ma'am. Yes, we do.
Okay. All right. So, which I just want to make sure, because right now I'm pretty sure you guys are aware there's only one ambulance and one fire truck or something like that in Rhoda, and it's very concerning because if one goes down or one's been activated, and there's another emergency, what is the backup? Which is simply none.
Yes,
right?
so, yeah, all two islands are included.
Okay.
Whatever submission that we submit to NMHC.
Okay, thank you. Also, I understand it's probably similar with what DPS mentioned yesterday, that when it comes to personnel, that's under the municipality, right? Or the administration part of the DFEMS and RODA, correct? And then when the operation, as far as the operations is concerned, SAIPAN or the Central Defense SAIPAN can also assist RODA. And you guys have been collaborating with RODA or Antonian as far as what under needs?
Yes, ma'am. Oh.
Okay. I know right now that RODA has an arrear on freight and handling of about 5,000, and they're trying to find fundings for that. And I can see in you guys' slide that you guys have that federal funds for that. Is that something that maybe, is that grant applied under Sinamay or just the 3rd Senatorial District?
It's for the cinema, ma'am, and like what Deb mentioned earlier, are some of our federal grants, they are specifically provided for us so we have to follow the rules and regulation. But we can take a look at that, the phenomena.
Yeah.
If there's a way, we will assist.
Yeah, because right now RODA, I think, only has two revolving account, which is the ambulance, and I believe the fire safety code. And they don't have that much money in there, and the vendors is constantly asking to pay their arrears of that freight and handling. So can you see how you can help the 1st Senatorial District Defense on that one?
We will, yes,
Okay.
and we always help Tinian and Rhoda.
Thank you, I appreciate that. And when it comes to training, who pays for, or who sends them up, the firefighters? Who funds it? Is it central or the local level?
Yeah. Majority of the funds like coming up for training, we augment them, bring them out, because we know additionally that they don't have the funds at all.
Okay, really.
So we augment them.
We really appreciate
Yeah.
that. Okay.
So either we send them here or we go there.
Okay, thank you. Also, yesterday I asked DPS if they can assist in training the law enforcement, DPS law enforcement in Rhoda on CPR and the first aid. And I believe he mentioned that he's going to reach out to defense. You guys, if you guys can, provide that kind of training, would that be possible?
That's definitely possible. And in fact, just for you guys' information for the entire body here, we're sending down our personnel next on the 14th to the 18th, and that's going to be also in collaboration with DPS.
Okay,
And that training is going to consist of the water rescue training on the jet ski and the repelling rescue training. So we're inviting DPS. And in fact, I was talking to Chief Ron to look other resources, also other agencies that might have the capability of supporting DFEMS, and not only DPS and DFEMS, but other agencies talking about biosecurity, what's that, custom.
Yes,
They got some resources also. So, ROTA is really stringent with resources. So
Yes.
I believe in interagency support, and that's my belief. If strengthening also their capabilities down there in Rhoda. So next week they're gonna be running down there to do a training from defense, but in collaboration for DPS and also trying to check with other agencies that can want to avail to that training.
Yes, because law enforcement are frontliners, you know.
Yes,
And
yes.
so I would like also to extend, you know, we do have a facility, medical referral facility here. You know, I'm hoping that, or I would like to request if they can also be, the medical referral staff can be trained on CPR and first aid.
That can be happen. However, just to information, no, Congresswoman, we equipped all medical transport on Saipan, the liaison or vehicles for Tinian and Rhoda on their first aid kit, no equipment. So it's from difference that provide them in case during transport they might have some issues with their patients. So we also collaborate with them.
Okay.
So we support them also.
Yes, and, you know, it's very, you know, critical that they are trained on it because, you know,
Yeah.
sometimes it takes a few, you know, a second matters, right? Just a second does matter, you know.
Yeah, life, you know,
Yes,
it's
and
very critical.
sometimes
So
it takes several minutes before,
Yes.
you know, an ambulance gets to the
we'll
location. right?
probably take a look and I'll take check with EMS, Chief Blas, and make arrangement with medical referral for Tinian and Rhoda.
Okay.
So they can have that, no, avail of that training if they
Okay.
want.
All right, thank you. That's all for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Julie Ogo. And I just want to add, Commissioner and your team, that we did actually had a budget hearing with the first and second senatorial district, and they did express their appreciation to you folks for always assisting them whenever there's a need. And we thank you for that, Commissioner. That's very overwhelming to hear by our firefighters too in the first and second senatorial district. So are there any other members that have questions? Let me recognize Representative Joe Flores.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, Chief. Commissioner. Just my question, actually, just to go back for recollection or just for clarity regarding the fire station in Tanapak. The one that was there before, and then I think for some reason the hotel that was building in the back took over your lot, and then the fire station was to be rebuilt for Tanapak. And then there's your slide is stating something about renovation. Is that the same funding going towards that, or that's a different?
It's the same funding. It's just that we have to change the area because when they're gonna start the fire station in Marpi, they're gonna build it from ground up, and it's gonna cost more than the funding that is available. Fortunately, you know, we found a vacant land and a building, existing building. So based on our conversations, that we find it that it's a lot easier in renovating the building. So that way the company too will be providing extra whatever resources that we need. That's after they renovate the building. So whatever leftover funding, they can provide us to get whatever necessary resources.
Okay, so that building, is that a private building or is it a government building?
It's a government building.
Where's this building at? Where's
It's
that?
just south of Tanapaka Middle School.
Oh, the building used to be on Undermat right before?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, that's all.
Yeah, and maybe, Mr. Chair, if I can continue to make
Yeah,
more
please-
clarification
please
on that.
proceed,
And
yeah.
in lure with that, what Congressman Torres, I know Flores was alluding to is, yes, it is supposed to be from the community contribution of public land that they're looking to build us a new fire station up north. However, we have conducive building, the what Commissioner was mentioning. So there is probably might be having instead of the contribution of $500,000 of new building, we might renovate that one at a lesser cost and rehabilitate the whole building and also give us furnitures and all those kind of amenities to augment the fire station itself. So that way, we save more, and you know, instead of spending more, because whatever is gonna go beyond the 500,000 is gonna come up to the department, or we're gonna be coming up to you guys.
Right.
Right. So we kind of reverse things to get, you know, win-win situation on the department also, and and that's what happened. And in lieu of that, leaning towards the earlier, Mr. Chair, that earlier statement about the 30,000.
Right.
That is supposed to be the map plan for the new fire station.
blueprint, right?
Augment to that
Yeah.
30,000 to do the master plan for,
Yeah.
or the architectural
Right.
plan for that.
So
part.
since we're in that topic, and we now the vice chair, who is the chairman of the Ways and Means of SNIOT, maybe wanna expound more on that.
Yes.
Recognize the vice chair. They are trying to ask us to rededicate the 30 instead of for the blueprint to for supplies. So
Yeah,
maybe
for-
perhaps the question would be further, what source of fund did you use for the blueprint? But recognize the vice chair.
Yeah, go ahead, you. Ask
Yeah,
the-
yeah, and maybe for clarity of the not using the blueprint funds, that's the reason why, because of the existing building that we got. We don't need to build an architectural to get a plan, because that is an existing building, and DPW support us in making the structural integrity inspections. So they give us all those clearance and permits that we are good to go with that. So that defeats defeats the 30,000 of using the plan, the funding for that 30,000. However, we're requesting if the committee can, come up and do amendment on that particular funding that is being appropriated for that blueprint, to re-amend the language and support us in luring to get more medical supplies and equipment and some other stuff for the department. So that's the intention that we're requesting.
Okay, and that's a 23, no? 20?
That's a
21,
30,000. That's a 30,000 amount.
That's back in a 22 dash.
I think it's somewhere 2023. I think.
22,
Yeah.
23?
Yeah, 22, 23.
Second local law.
Yeah.
Okay, and so that property that's south of the Sebastian
That's a
building?
public land. We clarify, we closed that already with public land. So they gave us the what is that, the designation of that land. So it's under defense now, that particular land.
That's the one that used to have the
Laundromat and
laundromat all.
two-story. Yeah.
So CDA gave that property up to public land?
Yeah, public land got that property
wow.
back. Yeah. So we kind of matched to negotiate with public land, and finally gave us that new land to designate as a fire station.
Okay, well, congratulations to you guys for that, and there's some savings at the very least. No, there's structure, but I'm hopeful that that building is up to par when you start the project moving forward.
Yes, Vice, because we asked assistance from DPW. So their building inspectors came and they inspect the building. So they told us that
Yeah.
it's, yeah. So the
We're
building-
good to go with that, and then
for the renovation.
The renovation.
Okay, that's great. That's great news, and then we'll meet on the sidebar now regarding the 30,000. Obviously, this is not the
Okay,
committee
Vice.
that's going to
Yes.
be addressing that, but we'll work on that legislation with
Okay.
you guys.
Thank you.
Maybe we can use it towards the matching of the.
Whichever
We'll
is
make it
good for the
flexible.
department. No.
We'll definitely
Right.
make it flexible for you
Yes,
guys to use.
okay.
But yeah, thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Vice. And Commissioner, just going back to your presentation on your priorities, right? There is a list here on the screen that for a purchase of a new fire engine for Susupi, right? And two of the new Rescue Rapid at 500 each. So we're talking about a little bit of over 2 million, right? 2.2. What source of funding do you plan to? These are just priority lists, like a dream list, or do you have a potential grants that you guys are expecting to purchase these items, capital equipment items?
So we're thinking of tapping to the OGM, if we can avail with the assistance fire grant, federal,
Or through the grants office?
yeah, through the grants office.
Okay, so there's already open discussions on that, and
Yes.
potential grants out there that might perhaps assist on that matter.
As a matter of fact, Chair, we've been working on the SAFER grant, and we're finalizing it to submit, and hopefully we will get that funding.
Okay, and those are the priorities right now as we speak, right? I know that both of these priorities are for the third senatorial, so perhaps you guys are gonna try to include also the first and second senatorial district in these efforts, right?
Definitely,
Moving forward.
definitely, sir.
Okay, thank you for that. And then can I ask also? I know that a lot of our constituents are questioning the response time, right? And that leads me to, I know that it's not the fire department's duties to make sure that our water fire hydrants are up to par. It's CUC, right? And so my question is, do you happen to know if are all the fire hydrants here in all our senatorial district islands, are they up to par? And what are the efforts the Department of Fire is doing to kind of reach out to CUC so that we can make sure that these hydrants are operational? Because I know we're entering to a summertime, right? And we need to make sure that you guys have resources to tap on whenever there's emergency. So can you kind of expound if there's any conversations with CUC at this moment with regards to our hydrants out there, all through our islands?
Yes, Mr. Chair. As a matter of fact, we've been working together with CUC. So whenever our guys responded to a fire response, we always call CUC. And they refer us to the nearest hydrant with the good water pressure. And as a matter of fact, my brother too is working for CUC and water. So whenever we respond to a structure fire, I call him directly and I told him, hey, bro, this place is burning. So he said, okay, let me call you back. After maybe 5 minutes, he will let me know, okay, the closest hydrant is in this location. Just, have your truck refuel over there.
So based on your conversations with your brother and other management from CUC, there are efforts, you feel that there are efforts by CUC in trying to get all these hydrants operational, or they're just focused on certain hydrants within the island? How do you feel with your close conversations and open discussions with this entity?
So what happened, Chair, is that if there's a structure fire, so if we call CUC, what they would do is they would try to isolate the other areas and divert the water to the closest hydrant that where the fire is.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Thank you for that response. Any other members? Let me recognize Representative Denita Yangtamay.
Sorry, thank you, Chair, and welcome everyone. No, I just have something to say about the fire hydrants, because that was my project also. Just along the Isa all the way, Precinct 3, the main road. But my project, not to fix it, but to paint it, to make it look nice. But then there were a lot that were not active. So they showed us, the CUC, the Water Division showed us that if the top is flat, then it's working, right? Or am I doing it wrong? And if it has that thing on the top, then it's not? Or am I doing it in reverse? But we did not finish. We were painting it, but we did not finish it because we ran out of budget. We got low budget like everyone else. So we hope to continue it. But it belongs to Water Division, and not all of them are active. Thank you.
Yes, so all the fire hydrants that are on our island, the top is flat. The valve is at the side. And there are different sizes from 2.5 to 1.5 inches. I think in the mainland they're using those type of hydrants because of the climate. Yeah. Sometimes during winter, that's the reason why the hydrant is different from our hydrant here.
Rep, you still have the floor?
I yield.
You yield? Okay. Any other member? Question? Rep O'Don, please.
Good morning, Commissioner and your team. No, So I see that because you guys still have your new building, I mean your old building, right? And DPW said that it's still structurally sound, correct? And then I also saw your expenses or your request for your utility, correct? Like what? That's like 7,000 something like that a month, 5,000. What is it? Right. So I remember working with like we were having like a major discussion with OGM with regards to installing, the solar and the battery and all of that stuff for the fire station, DPS, and DOC, you know. And I'm trying to wonder, is there any movement into that? And from what my understanding is that this project is stalled because somebody wasn't playing nice. Like, no, this is my property, this is my area, you don't cross this line, something along that line. And I'm like thinking that if this project is ever to move forward and first responders are not, cooperating with each other to save as much money as you can, because the utility here in the islands, God knows it's killing everybody. But when you guys can't work together to get something like that installed and interconnect with everybody, it'll help out a lot. Which means that, you could have a lot of your, instead of $100,000 budget for utility, you could probably drop it down in half if you guys use all the available land and rooftops to avail to this program, and I'm pretty sure everybody knows that I'm a big proponent of this utility because it's a very big headache. It's a 40-year issue, and it's not getting any better, especially what they're talking about, a 6% hike on the worst freaking time of the economy that we have. You want to raise it 6%. Where were you when the economy was booming to fix all of this issue? Now everybody's scrounging for pennies, and we don't have the money to be giving, like for utilities, and it just boggles the mind. So that's why, like, I'm asking, if DPS, all of you guys, because you guys are like right next to each other, and that's a big property, and help each other out and, get this program running and fight for that. So that way you're not, pinching pennies, to either, are we going to do training, buy materials, or, pay the utility or the paycheck or the life insurance, you know what I mean? The technology is only getting better, and the technology is only getting cheaper. So why will we not all work together when we're like right next to each other, and it would solve a lot of your issues? So I believe that you guys should work with, like, hand in hand with, like all first responders together with OGM and try to avail to this, because it does work. Believe me, the system works, and it'll help you divert some of those funding for utilities to, other important matters, so, and then not only that, I also saw your, like, 5,000 a month for communication. Is that for like cell phones and whatnot? Or the building system or whatever? I'm not trying to, how would you say this? Promote anything, or any particular, brand or whatever, but Starlink works at fraction of the cost. You know what I mean? And it's an awesome system. So instead of paying, like, I don't know, 5,000 a month, you could probably be paying 1,000 a month. So by utilizing a lot of these new technologies to make it work to your benefit, where you can save money here so that you could put it somewhere else, it'll be a beautiful day. So please try to look for alternative ways, to reduce those unnecessary. To me, it is a necessary cost, but there are better ways to do it. Because God knows we would love to give you guys all the money that you're asking for, but real world, we can't. So one of the best things that we could do is try to figure out where we can save. And I know that the utilities and the communications, can help you guys save. and then hopefully all the other government agencies are listening so that they can, hopefully that light bulb will go off, but hopefully it won't pop. You know what I mean? So just a suggestion. All right. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank
Thank you,
you,
Rep.
thank you, Congressman, and that's a very genuine response for us to have. Yes, binaklaro ungan. We've been trying to avail for alternative energy. We are really in support of alternative energy. We know that our operation it runs 24/7. So yes, we are looking towards any kind of assistance that we can avail to. We are willing to be in that position. However, the one that I stole, yes, we are part of requesting to be part of hardening the solar system to avail to decrease our utility usage, because we use our utility 24/7. Our personnel is there all the time at the station, so we are first requesting it to be solar on the fire stations, all fire stations, because that's where our chunk of our personnel has been headquarters. Down the line, we can probably go to our office, but office it only runs on a daily basis, but the station runs on a 24-hour basis. So that's our most priority is the station. And yeah, you're right. You're totally right. Parewa even with this communication also, we've been a lot of OIT here. We've got a lot of restriction of OIT. Even to procure now a surveillance camera for our building, it has to be probably like engineer. Somebody has to be an engineer to come down just to certify that we can put that system in there. How that's why I cannot. Sometimes I don't really understand OIT how they run these things. I'm not criticizing OIT because they're all saying about the security measures. Yes, I understand that. Now, things that fluctuate directly that you can make that no look, and you say, yeah, it would be prudent to put it there, to just go internally, beyond the scope of what we're expecting. So some issues also one of bonito na baysangan is sige lo. Sometimes it gives us a black eye look at we want something in the department to improve or the infrastructure to improve lo waloke bumabakam bumebrekam sa there's a lot of obstacles that we have to go through. That's why it pins us in the eyes now when it comes to budget hearing. We request it, but sometimes they don't give us the luxury to that. But in reality, the department, when we come up here, the department for the entire body here, I just want to clarify that the department only asks the needs. We don't ask what the wants. We only needs of the department itself. And these needs is all for public purpose use. That's all we need. If you support us with public needs for the entire department, for the department to augment our public safety and the needs of that, we're good. We can talk about salary increase if we got the luxury talking about down the line in the future. But at this moment in time, we're just in bear where everybody's having the chance of having these pins of the economy, dota ekonomiya na. Lo thousand gagawamzo at least para usaporta i operation ni para na hano mo na data continua mo na serbisyo pa publiko ta. Eno ating gagago. Policy para ta panano para ta fan mahatsak sa dota bunti tipago na momento na patafangintos. That's not the right time. Maybe it's on a time where we see something coming in. But at this moment in time, we're only asking i-adjudon mizo para departamento sa mano na isinyata sa portawzong i komunidad. That's all we're asking. No? So I appreciate everybody's help on this matter. Jesus Masi advice. I
Thank you, Deputy. And any further questions from the members? Tada? Oh. Rep Yumo, please.
Thank you, Chairman. I guess it's more of a clarifying question to OMB with regards to what is actually spent in FY24 versus 2026. There is a difference of approximately 1.3 million between FY24 and the governor's proposal of so in FY24 was the department under that reduced hours, or were they still at 100%?
I believe in the budget, there was a reduction in hours. I think instead of 106, it went down to 96.
So the FY24 total expenditure was reduction of hours.
Oh. Correction, it's 104 hours.
So there was a reduction because of ARPA supposedly fund the difference, or how did the administration cover the or let me go back, because they are still going to get their pay because they're essential service. So was ARPA covering the difference, for example, for the overtimes and to make up the difference? Because I understand we in FY 2024 we're at reduction of hours.
If I'm not mistaken, the Appropriation Act for FY 2024, there was a lifting of restrictions on the use of the special fund, the
Funds.
revolving fund. So some of the wages and salaries or the cost to personnel is being augmented by the use of the revolving fund.
Okay. So with regards to the revolving fund, the commissioner said there was approximately more or less 500,000, correct? Balance. So should 2026 come around and proportionate cuts may happen, the 500,000 that's revolving right now wouldn't cover the shortfall between what, because I only can see what is actually expended in FY24 versus I can't really see 2025. I can see the second quarter only, and obviously the highest expenditure is emergency service, and I'm assuming that's because of the OT hours and all that are accounted for. And because there is revolving fund, I'm assuming the Department of Finance is allowing the overruns because there's revolving fund coming in and out, right? So should the proportionate cuts happen, how is the department preparing itself to, I guess, curb the difference, and how are they going to handle that?
So right now, the intention with our staff is that we're gonna go back again and take a look at our work schedule and maybe do some adjustment. But still, we're gonna tap into the revolving account. So, I've been explaining to our people that the demand for the services for our community net, we cannot stop. But if we can at least make some adjustment on our hours, that will help us, to maintain our funding availability.
Right. My concern is just because there may be cuts just based on how the economy and the trend is going with regards to how the businesses are reporting. So we're assuming there's going to be cuts again in the future, and I think the department, although there is a big increase between FY24 and 26. With 2025, I'm not sure where the department's going to end up because right now, supposedly your current balance is about 13,000 when you add everything up and down, and then your monthly allotment. I'm not sure if it's consistent with what the first quarter is at 400,000. So I'm assuming it's going to maintain at that $4 million level based on the allotment that's coming in. So is the department also like the Department of Public Safety reducing overtime hours? Is that the department is doing the same thing?
Yes, no, Congressman. Yes, we curtail the overtime. we streamline a lot of overtime where we're trying to prioritize, the needs. But however, overtime will not stop.
Yes, I understand.
Right. So just for you guys' information, overtime will not stop on these first responders. Anything that unpredictable, our response has to go out and assist. So that's the way it is. But we curtail to reduce a lot of costs, not only on the overtime expense, but even on utilities or other areas that is probably not really in lure of having the operation jeopardized. So those are the things also. And what the commissioner was alluding earlier to, revisit back our schedule and reassess because of this downfall of our trends of our funding as well. So we have to come up with a better maneuver how we're gonna strategize to move with the limited sources that we got. So yes, Congressman, to answer your request of that, yes, we are in lure of cost cutting a lot of things from the department. However, like I said, overtime will not stop because of situation might arise that it's unpredictable that we need to just go out and respond.
Thank you,
Okay.
Deputy. Just last, Chairman, does the department, like Department of Public Safety, have grants? Because I understand the Department of Public Safety, does their grants cover some of their overhead and some of personnel? Does the fire have the same? Is it totally different?
Well, there's a federal grant that we are recipient from DPS. Though it's very limited. For example, there's funding for the car seat technician, and that's where our people are.
So it doesn't cover any personnel? This is
No,
all
no,
local-
just
okay.
to augment the operation.
Yeah. And then just last, the revolving fund also covers overtime, correct? Is that?
Yes.
It does cover, okay. Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Representative Ralph Yumo. Just a follow-up on the line of question with overtime. I know that we thank you guys for trying to control the overtime, and I know that sometimes it's beyond your control because your response are actually based on calls, emergency calls, and you can just go around it. But we understand that you're using revolving funds to augment those costs. But I guess my question is because you were not budgeted on this current fiscal year with overtime. So the question perhaps is thus far from October 1st of last year to now, how much overtime has been accumulated? Do you have that figures right now?
We are estimating about 24,000 per pay period.
24,000 per pay period. Okay, thank you for that. That's a very good control. Let me recognize Representative Roma Benavente and then Representative Malcolm Omar. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and to the Commissioner. You have alluded earlier that, to defray the amount of funds that you use, especially like you said, 24,000 per pay period, is that? And you have mentioned earlier too about the scheduling. So would it be more cost effective as far as implementing a staggered schedule in order for, I know the overtime situation and I know the emergency situation, I understand that. But as far as scheduling to augment a lot of the shortfall down the pike. So if you implement that, I think you're gonna realize a lot of, not a lot, but some resources that could be reused by the defense, use it as a supplemental type funds for you to use. I don't know if you're implementing the staggered schedule or what, but it's good to explore it and see. Thank you. That's all I like to ask. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Roma Benavente. Recognize Representative Malcolm Omar.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, DFEMS, for being here. I just want to go back. I just want to touch base on forestry. Just siya ano para the forest fires, or what's the incentive, or what do we get back adi and tanano totota siya, and like how often, or do we look at further deployments or future deployments, and like and manano siya for a month or so. Is there incentives that I guess the Department of like what do they assist, or what do they give back to for our defense here?
So they provided training para di siya mami forestry. So every year, correct me if I'm wrong, Chief. Every year they will send their people here to do the practice for them to qualify. In order for our people to qualify to be deployed para tagi for if there's a big disaster in the mainland, especially if we're dealing with forest fires. So that's one of our MOAs that our people make sure are trained. And if our personnel and the civilian, so right now we are gearing towards to have a bigger opportunities for the civilian to have that opportunity to go off island and have the experience under the forest fire. So if they were deployed for the forest fire, they are under federal rate. So the forestry, it's paid for, or personnel are paid for, their insurance, their salaries.
But in regards to no other types of funding besides just training, or is there funding for equipments or?
Yes, equipments also. I just want to mention. Equipment, supplies, everything to Angmen, also our operation here, supporting us with PPEs. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, and thank you, Chairman, and you for now.
Thank you, Representative Malcolm Omar. Are there any other members? Recognize Representative Roma Benavente.
In line to what Representative Malcolm has mentioned earlier, U.S. Forest Service or U.S. Forest Service an assistance with regards to Izumizu participation and Manonologo, other than the salary for the people that you send over there. So I know they get training for brush fire and forest fire. And Manonologo ni. Tiutungo ko mafanon nagyaloki ni G taginya no kimasunguma parofa.
Congressman, as a matter of fact, there's some of our guys, they started from let's say from, like a Tech 1, Paugusta Mangayagi crew boss.
Yes.
So they are supervising some crew.
Munafay sinam dun istine sa tunga sa Matsuzuki US Forest Service look. Go tunga forest fire, offer dunya recommendation. Then offer dunya siya forest fire, then brush fire. Tunga nan manafanono out of state. Man mapapasimple aulo. You fafaisin ko mana judjuda federal mongi. Sa lokpi para amjone gini. So at least the effort that you're sending our own people over there. Extra money.
Yeah, to answer no Congressman, taza magait no in lieu of no monetary itself. However, the committee on ST5 forest fire dani usangani siya to augment and put it in our request also if they can give us resources of augment our personnel that's been deployed to augment also this overtime, because we are getting our resources from our own resources here. So that's one of the things that I mentioned to the committee. Make sure that we can communicate with those grantors or those people that are forecasting also this program to alleviate and support us on this, because this is what the MOA says. But it's not in the MOA. The pago sa na make sure that we're going to have to make an understanding to support us. And you're right, no, Congressman. We need funds. We need them to support us also. no? So dinalanche ani liling mo ko taza, okay? It's only lure in exchange of trainings and support from tools, supplies, and equipments.
The reason why I ask you guys that is, you know, fai sinam dun eh. Puden no sa an man request magi para am pen fanona watu paren fan fight the fire sometimes. Sa todo tempo na como jomo home state, ja poronano out of state. To outer state na taluk po no gagi Arizona ja pon gupu gatu yakima pat pon ono gatu Albuquerque pan mono na state na. They have to, payment is paid for the employee. Law, is again of a fashion am ko gwa judo manonay mo gyam para deploy jud mi no. Ito to mi lago na. You know what? Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Roma Benavente. Are there any other questions from the members? If there is no more questions from the members at this time, Commissioner Pua, on behalf of the Committee on Ways and Means, we thank you and your team for coming before us and providing us with your presentations and your concerns and your visions for this upcoming fiscal year 2026 budget. I understand that it's, we all understand that it's really trying times at this time of our fiscal capabilities, but nonetheless, we understand the importance of your department and that you the needs that you have requested is our needs are not wants, and so for that matter, we have taken notes on all our discussions this morning. So with that, if you have any closing statements, I give you back the floor before we adjourn.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On behalf of the Department of Fire and EMS and the command staff, donc na si dus mosin na namin tempo ni para tafanali. Dani ya zudun mizu. Thank you.
Sizus Mosi, Commissioner. And at this time, members, we move further down on our order of business, and that is item 6, announcement. And the chair will now announce that tomorrow we have before the standing committee at 9:30 will be the Department of Corrections. And possible also the chair would like to ask members of the Ways and Means if you can perhaps open your schedule on the afternoon of tomorrow for an informal meeting with the entire committee to discuss the concurrent resolution that we will be pre-filing very, very soon. And with that, we move now to our last order of business, which is item 7, and that is adjournment. And at this time, the chair adjourns this public budget hearing today. We are now adjourned. Thank you, members, and to the viewing public.